Alright, so today I'm back with yet another chapter review, and today we will go over chapter 280, which is going to be something really special, as we will learn more about Noah's insane ego, as he will have a rather intense chat with Isagi. We also see a love triangle build between some of the PXG players, which has me a bit concerned. But anyway, the big thing in this chapter is that Isagi's mental breakdown continues as he legit breaks down in the middle of the field, which was insane, but I don't want to say too much, so you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, before jumping into it, please leave a like and a comment, as well as join the Discord server down in the comments. Also, thank you guys so much for your love on my first ever chapter leak video I dropped yesterday. It meant the world to me. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So for chapter 280, also called the Wall of the Talented, we start off by hearing what the commentators have to say after Loki's incredible save of Kaiser's free kick in the last chapter. Anyway, they say that the divinely fast wonder child Loki just stopped the Kaiser impact with his superhuman speed. And then we get a quick panel off Loki, who's got a big smirk on his face. Someone who's definitely not got a smirk on his face is Kaiser, who looks furious as he says damn it. After we see Kaiser being salty, we see Isagi, who's just blown away by all of this as he looks at Loki with a stone expression. He thinks to himself that Loki was able to react after he saw it and still stopped it, which is just wild. Moving on, we go to the PXG players as Nanase screams that the second ball is coming. Karasu hears this and goes straight into action as he jumps up and heads away the ball to Zantetsu. Zantetsu gets the ball just where he wants it and compliments Karasu. Karasu then says, "Time for your stupid speed," which I would assume means time for your stupid speed. But as he and Hiroi had a bit of an accent, it came out weird. And then Zantetsu, out of nowhere, says that he is on his weight, which just doesn't make sense. And it made me laugh more than I should have. Anyway, Zantetsu really proves his weight later as he uses his jet counter to absolutely sprint through the Bayern Munich players. He gets behind Ness in no more than a second, and Ness can't believe it as he just thinks that Zantetsu is too fast. Raichi, also on the defense, screams at everyone not to rush in and instead play for time. Kiora adds an insane amount to this critical conversation as he just says, "K." That's the classic Kiora, which we love. Anyway, behind Zantetsu, we have Isagi, who's watching everything carefully when suddenly he gets into his mind and asks himself what really is a genius. He says that up until now he's automatically thought of anyone amazing as a genius, but after seeing Loki's insane speed just now, he feels like labeling him a genius just doesn't cover it. His brain starts to work overtime as he knows that he has to analyze it to win, as it's crucial for him to understand the concept of genius. He continues and says that regardless of how much logic he's accumulated, a genius is someone who can transcend all that with their unimaginable playstyle. In that case, Rin is absolutely on the level of a genius, and then the same goes for Noah, but then he starts to think about himself and wonders what he is. However, he leaves his thoughts for a quick second as he runs to Noah's side and screams, "Master Noah!" He gets Noah's attention and asks him what he should do in this situation. Noah, just with a blank expression, looks at him before saying that he clearly asked Isagi to bring him a winning theory. Isagi is a bit shocked and caught off guard by this, but Noah explains that he is only interested in those who seek to best him, and right now he feels nothing from Isagi. Isagi's face quickly goes right into despair as he looks legit crushed by this. But then he goes back into his mind and says, "So that's it. Geniuses aren't logical. They fascinate people by living however they want, and naturally become the centers of the soccer world. Those are the sort of people it refers to, however, as he's figured that out." He ends it by saying that if that's the case, then he is no genius. His puzzle pieces start to slowly fade away around him, as he says that he is someone who only continually adapts to geniuses and calls himself a talented learner. After that, we leave our favorite boy and see Charles, who's going crazy on the field. Managed to dribble away Raichi, and after that, he looked with a determined face and said that it was time for another round for the strikers, and of course adding that devil emoji like usual. Anyway, after that, he sends away a cross up on the field, and it looks like it's heading to Shidu as he says, "Good one, Charboy." However, he gets company right off the bat as Kaiser comes in and says that it's not happening on his watch, and also calls them a shitty perv hotline, which sounds a bit weird as Charles is only 15. Anyway, after that, we see a quick panel with a tongue sticking out, which could only mean that it's the freak Itoshi Rin who calls Kaiser tepid and also calls him a blue rose, which is just so dope. Anyway, Rin comes before both Kaiser and Shidu and makes a flawless trap while saying that this hotline is for him and the contrarian. After that, with a weird smile, Shidu legit tells Rin not to cuck him, which is so crazy, like you are still talking about a goddamn child, but he just tells them to fight nice, like it's nothing wrong at all. Anyway, quickly moving on, we see Rin going absolutely wild on the field, as he is legit destroying everyone in Bastard Munchen. Reichi screams at them to box him in, but Hiroi is annoyed as he thinks that they may run into him, but that he would still not stop, and calls him a monster, as he's got his spiky rage aura coming right off him while guarding the ball with his life. However, after that, the rat comes before Rin, and he tells Rin nope, and also says, "Hail the 3 treasures," like he always does. Anyway, as Rin gets closer, he also says that his brakes are busted and calls him a tongue boy. Rin, who's totally obsessed with this new flow of himself, just says you before he bashes into Igarashi's body and slams him onto the ground. Right when Igarashi's body makes contact with the ground, the speaker goes off, and they say that Gurumu Igarashi is down once more. But not only that, as the tackle earned Rin Itoshi another foul, making it Bastard Munchen's ball. And now we can see how furious Rin is by being done over by Igarashi for a second time. However, Igarashi is just ecstatic to the max, as he's managed to once again stop the berserker Rin. Reichi from the side screams at Igarashi and compliments him. Hiyori is dipping sweat from his face as he says that Igarashi stopped him, but just barely this time. But if we look a bit further away, we see Isagi, who's just standing still like a statue. He is quiet for a while before he says that if all he can do is just brush up his talent, then how can he ever hope to win against these geniuses? He thinks back to his time in Blue Lock and says that this is how he's always fought. He's used his eyes and brain to read the enemy's movements and then get one step ahead of everyone else. He's simply won using logic, and with that, he realizes that he isn't actually special at all, as anyone could imagine these things. In fact, he only developed his direct shot weapon through persistent effort and then made it his own, one step at a time. But that was enough, until now, that is. He's managed to scrape by with his average talent, but the arena of the world's best strikers is swarming with geniuses. Physical abilities beyond anything he could have imagined, incomprehensible impulses to score goals, and unhuman philosophies. All of those amazing guys have those things naturally, and if this is a stage where only geniuses can survive, then he will definitely disappear here. In the end, what he was doing can all be explained logically. His power of imagination won't let him survive what lies ahead. However, he still wants to beat Rin, and he also wants to be the best in the world. However, right now, he can't even imagine himself winning. He says this heartbreaking line as he feels tons of tears rolling down his face as he doesn't know what to do anymore. However, someone who knows his ego, who we go to now, he says that this is it, Yoichi Isagi. That wall of the talented will become your stepping stone, and the truth of the world of talent is that it's hopelessly illogical, but only those who have reached that can discover a new path. He puts his finger in front of his face, which is filled with a furious aura, as he has a glowing and burning fire coming out of his eyes, as he says that it's time to learn the formula for evolution, Yoichi Isagi. And wow, how crazy wasn't this chapter? We've got Zantetsu blitzing through characters like Ness, who's a starting player in Bastard Munchen. We also got Noel Noah just ignoring Isagi like a boss, and telling him to not talk to him unless he has a winning theory he can use. As honestly, he doesn't care about anyone if they don't have the ability to best himself. Which is just such an aura thing to say. Like, to imagine that he had such a big ego wasn't what I was expecting. I did imagine him to have a pretty decently big ego as he is the best in the world. But still, this is just crazy. We also got the PXG love triangle, which I'm honestly a bit afraid of how it's going to continue because Shido can't keep talking to Charles like that. He's soon going to catch a restriction order or something because this is just wild. And to think that Igarashi would be the one to come by and stop Rin a second time is mind-blowing. Like, I hate to admit it, but he is kind of on fire right now, even though all he does is get thrown down on the ground. And then we just have to talk about Isagi, because what is going on is Isagi is having some sort of identity crisis in the middle of one of the most intense matches of his life. That must be such a tough thing to realize right here and now. However, because they are showing it now, I can bet you that he is going to go absolutely crazy soon, because there's no way that they are going to let Isagi have a mental breakdown and start to cry just to throw him to the side. Also, every chapter with Ego just makes it so much better, as I love seeing him, because honestly, he's just so incredibly cool. His hair could get an upgrade, but that's it, and I can't wait to find out more about what he meant when he said that it was time to learn the formula for evolution. But that's enough about me, and if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.